So I'm going to show you two of my favorite regenerations from a breakaway. One utilizes the suicide bind, and the other one utilizes the guy right bind. The guy right and the suicide bind are basically the same thing. The suicide bind looks like that. You just roll it over the outside of your hand, like that. Whoa. You just roll it over the outside of your hand. See if I can get a clean one. Outside of your hand, like that. And the guy right bind, you roll it over the inside of your hand. So you turn your hand inwards, and it's the same motion. You just roll it over your fingers on the inside of your hand, like that. It's the same motion, it's just, there's the suicide, guy right. Suicide, guy right. The reason you're going to want to know both of these binds is because in order to do the regeneration from a suicide bind, you have to do the guy right motion. And in order to do the regeneration from the guy right bind, you have to know the suicide bind motion. So they kind of play off of each other. So for the suicide regeneration, you're going to do the suicide bind, turn your hand inwards, and roll the yo-yo over the inside of your hand, just like you're going to do a guy right bind. So suicide, turn it, and just let it roll right around. Just like that. And then if you do it correctly, it should reverse the spin of the yo-yo. So it should be spinning like you did a front style throw, like that. So you should be able to do just a front style bind. So just to look at that again, suicide bind, roll it over the inside of your hand. Suicide bind, roll it over the inside of your hand. If you don't know the suicide and the guy right bind, it's going to be a good idea to practice those so that you can get them consistently clean, because the last thing that you want during a regeneration is a dirty bind. That's sure to it's going to be a bad time. You're going to yo-yo in your face. So suicide, whoa. See, sometimes it flips, but if you do it clean, you should just be able to do it just like that. And for the guy right regeneration, it's the same concept. You just do a guy right bind, but when you do the regeneration, roll it over the outside of your hand like the suicide bind. So guy right, and then that same rolling the yo-yo around the outside of your hand. So you start with your hand turned inwards, and then roll it over the outside. See, that was a dirty bind. Not a good time. Careful. Just like that. So, guy right bind. Around the outside of your hand. Guy right bind. Around the outside of your hand. And yeah, so that's basically it. Those are the two easiest regens that I know from a breakaway, and I hope you find that helpful.